Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Football RPG podcast. I'm your host, Dave Latham, and today we're going to be talking about Travis Kelce. Now, I'm probably going to get some hate for this video, so I'm going to start with a disclaimer. He is one of the all-time greats at the position. For the last decade, you've put him in your lineup, you've never thought twice about it. On the field, he's a three-time Super Bowl champion, more Pro Bowls than you can count, and he's dating Taylor Swift. So obviously, life's gone pretty great for him. But we're not talking about what's happened in the past. We're talking about what will happen in 2025. There were a lot of warning signs last year that Kelce is about to fall off a cliff. We know that Father Time is undefeated. And frankly, I think we've seen the best of Kelce, and I think it's going to get real rough real fast. So let's start by talking about what he did last year. He finished his age 35 season with 97 receptions for 823 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, most tight ends, that's a really good season. But for Kelce, that made him the tight end 5, which is his lowest finish in a long, long time. So he's another year older now, and we have to ask, why were his numbers so relatively low? Well, we're going to need to answer that. Let's look at the data. And I'm sharing my screen right now, pulling up Player Profiler, which I really like what they do. They do have some great work. We can see it wasn't the lack of opportunity. He had 883 air yards, third best among tight ends, a 23.9% air yard share, second best. But when you look down at his yards per route run, it's only 1.67, which is the 21st best. That is not good, and we can't blame the quarterback. We know Patrick Mahomes is one of the best in the league. Personally, I think Josh Allen is overtaking him as QB1. That's an argument for another time. But we know that it's not a lack of quarterback talent. Kelce has the rapport with Mahomes, so it's probably not chemistry. Maybe it's just Kelce slowing down. And for the record, that 1.67, go back to 2023, it was 2.01. Go back to 2022, it was 2.44. Now, that 2.44 is an elite number. 2.01 it was really good. But this downward trend really suggests that he's slowing down. And frankly, Pro Football Focus, their grades agree with it. Take a look at this year. He finished the year with a 71.7 grade, 13th best among 74 tight ends. Again, this is Travis Kelce we are talking about. So 13th for most tight ends, you're thrilled with that. For Kelce, this is his lowest grade of his career, and it's the only one that comes close is 2015 when he was 16th out of 68 eligible tight ends. Since then, in that time between, he's never finished with a grade worse than 4th best in the league. So these sort of things don't tend to get better as the years go on. As he gets older, he starts slowing down. He's already had a very long career. This is worrisome. And now some of you may be saying, okay, so Travis Kelce isn't what he was. Watch the film, look at the stats, everyone agrees. But if he's getting 130-ish targets per season, who cares? Well, last year Kelce got a lot of targets, but that was mainly because nobody else was around to get them. Rashee Rice got injured early in the year. Marquise Brown suffered a preseason injury, didn't come back till late in the year. Xavier Worthy had his ups and downs as a rookie. All of those guys are coming back. All of them should be better in 2025 than they were in 2024. But what's really interesting is what happens when you look at Rashee Rice and what he did, or what Travis Kelce didn't do while Rice was on the field. Rice started and finished 3 games last year. In those games, Kelce recorded 8 receptions for 69 yards and no touchdowns. And that is not his per-game stats. That is total. Over a full season, he probably would have done better than that per-game rate. You don't want to overreact to just a 3-game sample. But the fact of the matter is that, Rice was the face of the offense. Kelce was kind of an afterthought because, frankly, he slowed down. And I don't expect that to get better this year. Rice, yes, he's coming off an injury. Maybe he starts off the year rusty. But Adam Schefter's saying he's probably not being suspended this year. The NFL is going to wait until the criminal report is finished, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And even when it is finished, it's going to take time for the NFL to process that information and get a suspension out of it. You should plan on Rice being on the field this year. Worthy, expecting a year 2 leap from him, maybe not a massive one. I don't think he's going to be Kansas City's wide receiver 1 by any stretch, but he's going to see more targets. And Hollywood Brown, he's a solid player when healthy. He just wasn't healthy last year. That has been an issue for him, but it's something that, again, is going to take some snaps away. Or it's not going to take snaps away from Kelce. It's going to take some looks away from Kelce. That's something you really need to worry about So if he's not being as efficient as he was, he's probably not getting the volume he used to. Then why is he being drafted 67th overall in typical formats? Now, this is one quarterback format, no tight end premium. Kelce is going in the mid rounds. Tight end wise, he's in the same neighborhood as Sam Laporta up here, TJ Hawkinson right here. In terms of overall value, if I can get Jalen Waddle instead of Travis Kelce, I'm going to do that. If I can get Cortland Sutton instead of Travis Kelce, I'm going to do that. And even when you just filter it to tight ends here, which I'm doing right now, Tyler Warren, there's a lot of upside there. It looks like Daniel Jones is going to be the starting job, which from a receiver standpoint is better. Jones is a more accurate quarterback. He throws the ball more, doesn't rely on his legs quite as much. There's a chance he beats out Kelce. I'm not sure I'd make that gamble. Evan Engram at the 96th overall pick versus Travis Kelce at 67. Straight up, I would take Evan Engram. We know that Engram can't thrive in every scenario, but we do know that he's going to be in Sean Payton's offense in the Joker role, tailor-made for him. Nobody's expecting 2011 Jimmy Graham numbers, but Evan Engram, I think he's going to finish better than Travis Kelce, regardless of price. I'm taking him over him. Mark Andrews, too, had a terrible finish to last year. No one denies that. He was awful in the AFC divisional round, but on the course of the season, he was really good. I think he has more in his tank than Kelce does. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Andrews finishes above him. David Njoku, 112. Kelce will probably finish higher than Njoku, but he's not going to finish so much higher that he justifies that price difference. The way I generally approach the tight end position, there are three guys I want this year that will give you a legit advantage in your lineup every single week. Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, George Kittle. I've gotten a lot of Kittle this year because Bowers and McBride are a little too pricey. If I can get an elite receiver or an elite running back, I'm going to do that instead of the tight end. Kittle's in the sweet spot right now. But outside of those three, the difference between Sam Laporta, what he gives you on any given week, and what Dallas Goedert gives you on any given week is probably just which one's lucky enough to fall into the end zone. Laporta will finish with more fantasy points than Goedert, but the value you're losing by not taking a good wide receiver or running back or even a top quarterback in that, late third, early fourth, you're not making that up with the difference between Laporta and Goedert. Basically, you should punt on tight end until the late rounds, the double digits, take someone there. And right now, Kelce is probably the cheapest he's going to be. We're recording this in late June, which means if you're listening to this, you love fantasy football. By the time we get to July, August, we're going to get more casual viewers in, and they're going to draft the guy who they know. That's Travis Kelce. So he's going to keep shooting up the board, I imagine. And I don't think there's much data to back up that being a good decision. So if you're out there, you're doing redraft already, or if you're listening to this a month or two down the line, stay away from Kelce. Go with some of these other guys later on in the draft, and I think you'll have a better fantasy team for it. Travis Kelce is a phenomenal player. He's going to be remembered as one of the all-time greats, but his 2025 season is not going to be one to remember. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and leave a comment down below.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Football RPG Podcast. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to check out written content, head over to lastwordonsports.com.
Don't let the goblins get you.